Yeah, try the cookie, man. Let me know what you think. If you get your eating and your drinking out of the way now, and don't slip your tea, you daft bastard. You got a fair few likes on Facebook. Like it's up to about 1,000 likes. Are you on the social media every day? Because I'm pants at the social media. I can't do it at all.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously I use Facebook. I use Instagram. I use Twitter a little bit. I think that's it actually. Obviously YouTube now.
Yeah. Oh, you got over 100 videos on there.
Oh, I don't think I've got over 100 yet. No, I haven't got that many.
Maybe not. Maybe not. The first one was 9 months ago.
I think it was 7 months ago. I started it in April.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's...
And that was becoming a travel photographer, day one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sounded like you were pissing yourself. With fear.
What, with the tone of my voice or with what I was saying?
Yeah.
Or both?
Well, both. Well, you just admitted you were scared, and that was fine.
Yeah.
But it is what you did was scary. Was that just because you were working at the post office?
Well, it depends what you're asking was scary. Because I think it was scary when I done my first video and uploaded that to YouTube. When I uploaded my first video, that was scary.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're asking me about quitting my job and that kind of thing, if that was scary, not that scary. So a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, it's very brave, quitting your job and everything," and oh, it must have been scary. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, it was a little bit because that job did do me quite well for 9 years. It paid decent enough for the kind of job it was. I was always, I always got by fine with it. But, so I guess quitting that regular income, that was kind of scary a little bit. But what was more scary was the idea of being stuck in a job for the rest of my life that I didn't enjoy and didn't care about and just wasn't what I wanted to do with my life.
Yeah, you definitely went down the inspirational sort of road with the video, sort of the kind of the live your dreams and
yeah,
you've only got one life, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean that is kind of the way that I think. So I think it would be good if I could inspire people through my videos as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to I need to get that balance right because I don't want to it seem like I'm trying to ram that down people's throat or anything. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just kind of doing my own thing and doing, what's the best thing for me. So I don't want it to seem like, oh, everyone go out and quit your job, do this, do that, and you only live once, just fuck it, quit your job, go traveling for the rest of your life and things. I'm not doing anything like that.
Just promoting anarchy.
But no, I'm not trying to promote anarchy, but yeah, I'm just doing my own thing, and it's good if that does inspire people. But yeah, I'm trying not to, like I say, force that down people's throats.
Well, let's think about this business, photography, filmmaking, video game design. It's all in the same. Any kind of creative art. There's hardly any money in it. Historically, there was always very little money in it. You always had to find a job and go down a set path. But now, with the internet, with smartphones, everyone's a photographer, everyone's a filmmaker.
I mean, the thing is, it kind of works both ways because
everyone's a podcaster.
Yeah, everyone now can pick up a camera or create videos or create podcasts or fill the world with photography. But at the same time, there's also like, because of things like Instagram and that, a lot of people are appreciating photography a lot more, and a lot of people are kind of valuing the importance of photography as well.
Yeah.
So it kind of works both ways.
Oh no, yeah, it definitely does. You're absolutely right. It is more open than it's ever been, but it's much the same to, if you want to use the word make it. You know, if you want to get into a position, I guess the default position for any creative person is to get into a position where you're making a living from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, forget wealth and fame, all that sort of stuff. You're just making a living from it. You're living off what you're doing. Even doing that is still as hard as it was.
Oh yeah,
a little while ago.
Yeah, it's still incredibly hard. Yeah,
it's just the difference is availability is up, but therefore competition is up as well.
Yeah,
you've got an account on Instagram which is one of billions. Yeah, everyone's got Instagram. Everyone's got Facebook.
Yeah.
So you're just you're a needle in a stack of needles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what my plan is at the moment is to start in this little town of Carlisle.
Uh-huh.
Hopefully, try and start here, get some sort of work here.
Good.
Apologies for that.
This amateur, you got to cut out that amateur shit. For one thing, I say that I haven't put my phone on silent.
Well, breaking news, Andy.
Yeah.
Especially like what I was saying before about because of the way the world is now and Instagram and that, so many people want photographs. So it's not just like, obviously, newspapers and magazines, which are kind of dying a bit now, but just all kinds of brands and things want photography to market their stuff, and hotels and travel companies, all sorts.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, when I was, I've recently, early this year, done a travel photography workshop with a couple of professional photographers, and I was talking to one of them on that, and he was telling me about how he was currently working for Dell computers, and so he does a lot of like landscape stuff, so particularly a lot of stuff in the mountains and things, and I was thinking, well, how does what he does, taking photos of epic mountains, how does that relate to Dell computers? But
screensavers.
Well, it wasn't screensavers, it was just
I mean desktop backgrounds.
Well, it was just because they wanted imagery to promote their computers, and now what they're trying to do is target their computers to creative people, like photographers and things. So they were actually using photos like that in their marketing and promotional work. Hopefully, the main income would be working for different clients who would pay me to. So say, like, my planning on starting here. So for the kind of I do like landscape photography as well. So the good thing about here is that we're right next to the Lake District. So, like, this is where I'm planning on starting, is like some of the travel companies in the Lake District.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously need photos to promote themselves and things. So I'm hoping to like start with some of them, hopefully, if I can convince some of them to pay me to take photos for them. And then, even things like hotels need photos to put up in their rooms and things, and restaurants need photos, and cafes need photos to put up on their walls. And
unless they want paintings.
Unless they want paintings, yeah.
Some of them want paintings.
Some of them will want paintings, yeah. But some of them will want photos of the local area and that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, lots of different little things. There's not one thing.
Cool.
There's going to be lots of. Well, I've always loved Fujifilm cameras since I've used them, because It just feels really, really intuitive, and all the buttons feel like they're exactly where they should be, so you don't even have to think about it. Yeah, it's just a pleasure to use. Like, so with my old camera, this is why I changed my camera. With the camera that I did have, which was an Olympus, it had two main dials on the top, which would change you could change what they'd done and which way to rotate them to change the settings and things. So essentially they changed like your aperture, your exposure compensation. But anyway, these two rings were right next to each other on the top of the camera. And for as long as I had that camera, I could never ever get used to which dial changed which setting and which way I had to turn it to either increase or decrease the setting. I had that camera for so long, and I'd always end up turning the wrong dial and things. And I even tried changing the settings to try and fit it to what I wanted it to do. And I for whatever reason, I just couldn't get used to it, and I'd always be changing the wrong settings and things. It was a pain in the ass. Whereas the Fujifilms are just great because just the dials that they've got, just like I say, everything feels like it's exactly where it should be. And I know I don't have to think about it when I'm changing my settings. I can just instantly, without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
If anyone ever asks me, or I'm wanting to buy a new camera, what should I look for? What should I get? I always tell people, like, the most important thing is that just go into a camera shop, pick up different cameras, and the most important thing is that it feels right in your hand, and the buttons feel like they are in the right place, and you know how to change the settings, and you understand the menu system and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want a camera like my previous one where you're constantly having to think about it every time you want to change your settings. Once you need to like pick it up, and it just feels like it's this is going to sound cheesy, but it just feels like it's part of you.
Mm-hmm.
You're smirking.
I am. I'm sorry.
I said it was going to be cheesy.
No, you're right. You're right. Did you do any like film photography? Are you interested in that at all?
Well, when I started off, my first experience of photography was in film photography.
Is this when you were a kid? When you?
No, this was at the art college. This was where I discovered my love of, although it cost me to fail my degree.
Yeah.
But that was where I discovered my love for photography. But that was film. That was the elective that we were made to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because I always thought the elective was a complete and utter waste of our time. I thought, we've signed up to this degree and we're being made to do this module which doesn't count towards anything. It's utterly meaningless. Why are they taking time out of our actual degree and making us do this extra thing? So I always saw it as a big waste of time and stupid. So when we were given the list of subjects to choose from, obviously saw photography on the list, and I thought, oh well, at least photography will be a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So I chose photography. Lo and behold.
And that's where it started.
Yeah. Lo and behold, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
That's been the only time that I have done film. But I did really enjoy it. It's just, I'm not romantic about it.
All right, man. Well, I think we can wrap it up there. But why don't you tell everyone?
Well, actually, before we wrap it up, I think it's an important point that I need to make, because I didn't quite get to make this when you're asking me about quitting my job and things.
Yeah.
Because I get people who follow me on Instagram and YouTube and that, and have seen my videos and seen me talk about my story about quitting my job and that, and like some people who are also interested in photography and would like to turn that into some sort of career as well, and they've messaged me saying, "Oh, I noticed you've quit your job to, become a photographer and that. Like, what's your advice? How should I do it?" Kind of thing. I want to do the same thing, but I definitely don't think people should do what I've done and just willy-nilly quit your job. and try and become a photographer. I don't think that's a sensible thing to do, even though I've done it.
It's brave, man. You're taking the leap.
I mean, the thing is, I was always going to quit Royal Mail this year anyway and do something else. I wasn't going to just quit it because I still need to live, pay my bills and that, but I was always going to quit my job and try something else this year anyway. But then the only reason why I've quit it and kind of not took up another job up until now is basically my dad died. I inherited some money, so that kind of enabled me to quit my job, and it kind of gave me like the security to not immediately have to rush out to find another shitty job to pay the bills. But yeah, I think unless you have got a big amount of money saved up, I don't think it's a good idea to just quit your job unless you're already earning some sort of money from it anyway. I think it's generally a good idea to work on it on the side, slowly build up a bit of money, income from your photography, and then when it's at a stage where you're earning enough from it that you think, okay, I can now quit my job and go try and make this full time. I think that's the best way to go about it. Not necessarily what I've done.
Yeah.
I just basically done it because it was the right thing for me in that time. Yeah. But I definitely don't think it's the right thing for most people, unless you've got, like, say, some sort of savings to be able to do it.
Yeah, of course. No, that's good advice.
Yeah.
You don't want to be held responsible for loads of people quitting their jobs, getting in touch with you.
Yeah.
Chris Gooch told me to quit my job.
No, well,
now
yeah.
I'm living on the streets.
I think it is, but I think because I have just quit my job and I'm saying I want to become a professional photographer, I think some people that do follow me think, okay, yeah, well, I want to quit my job, but yeah, I don't think the way I've gone about it is, like I say, the best way for most people. It's just, it was the right thing for me, personally, in that time.
Yeah.
And I don't think, for as long as I was in that specific job as a postman, I think that was making it very difficult for me to do the amount of work that's required to try and get any success in it. Because I was starting work at 5:30 in the morning every morning, so I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, and I just, I was never ever, for all the years that I was in that job, I was never ever getting a good regular amount of sleep. I was getting by most days on anywhere between 2 and 4 hours sleep for the most part.
Oh, that's super bad for you, man.
Oh, it is. So I felt shit on a regular basis just through a constant lack of sleep.
Yeah.
So I'd then often go home and just completely crash out. So I was really struggling to work on my photography as much as I wanted. So I knew, as long as I'm in this job, it's going to be difficult to ever make this happen. So.
Well, no, it sounds like you made the right move, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Chris Googe, why don't you tell everyone your stuff? Plug your stuff. Tell them where they can find your photographs.
You can find me on a number of places. My website is my name, chrisgooge.co.uk. Gouge.
Yeah.
On Instagram, I am Chris_Googe. On Facebook, it's Chris Googe Photo.
Yeah, I just googled Chris Googe photography, and it came right up.
I should hope so.
Yeah.
If you're being that specific, there's not a lot of Chris Googes.